installed onto the test server. Okay, and then we did neatly functional integration system. See, if you talk like this, actually we should say first I started with smoke testing. Yes or no? First I started with the smoke testing. And don't think about, sir, build, guild, all those things. Let's assume sequence I'm talking. Smoke testing, functional testing, integration testing, system testing. Then we said application is stable. After the application is stable, obviously all you guys know that we do one round of user acceptance testing. That is also done for each and everyone. Once this UAT is done, then we will move that application to the production server and user will start using this. Okay. Now guys, this is let's assume this is nothing but my release number 1. Everyone understand the meaning of release number 1? This is my release number 1. Okay, this was the first time when the application was developed, and it was handed over to the customers. The first time when the application was developed and handed over to the customer. Now guys, in this release, in the release number 1, so many documentation process was there. Listen, I've written here documentation for the release number 1. When I say documentation for the release number 1, obviously the first document was the requirement document. Yes sir or no? First document is obviously the requirement document, correct? Yes, the first document is requirement document. Now observe, login, there is one requirement. Compose, there is one requirement. Inbox, there is a requirement. Sent item, there is a requirement. Means for every module or for every feature or for every functionality, one separate requirement document is there. Is it clear? For every module, for Compose only, one separate PDF document. For Inbox, one separate PDF document. For Sent item, one separate PDF document. And when I say separate PDF document, login requirement can only be 2 pages. Are you understanding my statement? Login requirement is one requirement, but it may be of 2-3 pages. Inbox requirement was of 4-5 pages. Help was 7-8 pages. Logout is only 1 page. So like that, I had some 15-20 requirements was given by the customer. All these 15-20 requirements will I keep in one place or a different place? Whatever requirements I got, will I keep it in one place or different place? In one place. And that one place, I think all of you know, we call it as requirement repository, because you already know the meaning of a repository, correct guys? So that we call it as a requirement repository, where all the requirements are stored. It is one folder. Simple concept, it is one folder. Next, test engineer and developer job is, we start understanding the requirement and developers start writing the code. Now forget about developers work. It's none of my business, correct? I don't care what that fellow is doing. I don't care what that fellow is doing. Now test engineer guys, he is going to write the test document, you observe, or I will call it as a test cases. Any word I can use. I'll repeat. Test engineer is going to write the test document or is going to write the test cases. Yesterday, we have written also how the test case looks like. Yes or no? Some people already Uma has announced. Some other 300 people were there yesterday. Neatly, I have only told you how the test case looks like. You have written yesterday. No means you go home. No problem. Everyone is saying yes. One person is saying no. That means you know what is an answer. Good. So neatly we have seen how the test document looks. At least we have seen this. Correct? Okay, so from today I'll call it as a test document or test case. Second, one test case is written for each and every requirement. Yes or no? Login, we write one test case. Inbox, we write one test case. Sent item, we write one test case. So every module we are going to write a separate test case. Separate test case. So if there are 50 requirements, let's assume I'll write 50 test cases. Okay. Now, guys, only one test engineer is writing the test cases, or all the test engineers are writing the test cases? One test engineer or all the test engineers? Correct. Each and every test engineers are going to write their test cases on their assigned modules. Remember. So every test engineer will write the test cases on their assigned module. Now, in a project, I have written some 200, 300 test cases, 200, 300 test cases written. All these test cases or test documents needs to be stored in one place only. Yes or no? All these test cases, what I've written, it needs to be stored in one place only. Correct? Yes. And again, that place or that folder where we store all the test cases is called as test case repository. Is that also clear? Is that also clear? The folder where we store all the test cases written by each and every test engineer, that we call it as a test case repository. Good. So we have a requirement repository, we have a test case repository. Now, by the time developer finishes the coding, you should be ready with your test cases. Is it right statement? By the time developer finishes the coding, you should be ready with your test cases. Okay, all my cases are ready. All my cases are ready. Now from Monday, we have to start testing. Now, when I say from Monday, we have to start testing, will I test based on requirement or will I refer the test cases? Which is a correct sentence. From Monday, testing needs to be started. From Monday, testing needs to be started. So now I don't care about the requirement. Boss, just by seeing the test cases, I can start testing the application. Correct? Because each and everything is written. Each and everything is written in the test cases. So obviously, just by referring the test cases, I'll start testing. Now, when I say I will start testing, 1 minute, please. By seeing the test cases, start testing. That testing, let me use one more word today, test execution. Testing is also called as test execution. Is it statement clear? I can say I'm doing testing, or I can say I'm doing test execution. I'm doing testing, or I can say I'm doing the test execution. Then, ಹೇಳಿ Maria.
ಸರ್ ಆ ಹುಡುಗ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾನಂತೆ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸರ್.
Observe guys. So when I say execution, there is nothing but I'm starting the testing. And obviously during testing, I'll find so many bugs. All these bugs will be intimated to developer. That whole process we have seen. And whatever bugs you are getting, all those bugs will be stored in one common place. That I call it as a bug repository. So that we call it as a bug repository. And this I think everyone knows. That means, guys, in the whole release, especially for test engineer, we have a requirement repository, we have a test case repository, and we have a bug repository. Am I clear till now? Yes. Okay. Now you write this diagram. You write this diagram. Take a fresh page. Listen carefully. Listen. Take a fresh page. Don't write any heading. Write this as note number 1. Note number 1. To start regression testing, these concepts are required for now. So end of the day summaries, I'm saying that in the first release, we have some documentation process, or we have some repository process. That repository is nothing but requirement repository, test case repository, and the bug repository. These are the simple folders. Take a fresh page. Don't write in the previous topic. All the previous topics are done. And neatly write it till here. Sharon, you call your friend and ask them to send a photo of the test case immediately. You call them and take a photo of it. Roshan, still it is showing the same old name only. You log out and log in once again. We can refer previous releases document. So what you are saying? So keep it one. One, because we just updating the application release to based on the first requirement. All the requirements are in one place, so easy to refer. Okay, easy to refer. Now you tell me, assume that you have your first class marks card, second class marks card, third class marks card, 10th marks card, or you assume that you have your 11th certificate, 12th certificate, your engineering all semester certificate. Now my question is, will you keep all these certificates? All these are your educational certificates only. All these are educational certificates. Will you keep them in a jumbled way in one cover? So mix everything and just keep it in one cover. Is this better? Or 10th in one cover, your 11th and 12th in one cover, your let's assume all semesters organized in first first whole semesters in one cover, second semester, third semester, fourth semester. Which is better approach? Which is better approach? Why you are saying separate is better? Keep different marks card in a different files. Why? Simplest answer I want. Easy to identify. Perfect. Correct? So boss, same way all of you understand one point. You cannot mix. See here, there are already 200 test cases in the release number 1. Just assume. So already 200 test cases are there. Now suppose plus if you come and keep some 150 release 2 test cases also. Again in future, if I want to know which test cases belongs to which release, it's a confusion. Yes or no? Suppose here already some 500 bugs are there. Again in the project number 2, I found some 600 bugs. If you keep all the 600 bugs here, it looks very big. 600 plus 500, 1100 bugs are there. I don't know which bugs belongs to which particular repository. So guys, most of you are wrong. Remember, every release we maintain a separate repositories. Okay, let me open the diagram. Every release, if you observe, see here, carefully see. Assume this is my ICICI application. We are testing. So generally, how they maintain the repository is, assume this, they will name it as a ICICI application repository. One main folder requirement, under that one subfolder for release number 1 requirements, one more subfolder release 2, one more subfolder release 3, release 4. For every release, one separate folder I'm maintaining. Come here, one main folder called as test cases or test document. Again under test cases for release number 1, test cases for release number 2, test cases for release number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, test cases for release number n. Same way, bug repository release number 1, bug repository release number 2, bug repository release number 3. Summary is, every release we maintain a separate folders, or every release we maintain a separate repository. Let it be requirement, let it be test case, or let it be bug repository, or let it be anything else also. But everything we maintain a separate folders. Is it clear? Is it clear? So that anytime we want, see a release 4, whatever the changes done, go to the release number 4 requirements, open it. Release 4, how many bugs were found? Go to the bug repository release number 4 and open it. So that's the reason. This is how we maintain the folders. Easy. Copy this. Copy ICICI repository. Write it as a note number 2, guys. Write this as note number 2. So summary of note number 2 is, every release we maintain a separate repositories. That is my note number 2. Every release we maintain a separate repositories. Dana. Dana. Okay, guys. So summary is every release has some documentation process. You're taking a lot of time, Ole. I'm saying, no, don't take scales, bangles, and write exact square rectangles here. Don't do that. You write it fast. Fatafat, you write the diagram, finish it up fast. After class is over, you make a neat diagram. Don't waste time here. Fast. ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ. No. Let me move forward. I will change the screen. Now listen. From now, whenever I say test case, or if I use a word called as test document, you should imagine this. Already this. Yesterday I said you 300 people have written. Most of other people in the class Uma has dictated these notes. This concept is not completed. This concept is not done. Only the notes is done. So this is one requirement. This is one requirement called as a login. This is one requirement called as login. For this requirement, I have written one test case. This is just a one test case, guys. So this is a requirement. For one requirement, I have written one corresponding test case. You don't bother about all these things here. This is none of your business. When I say one test case, you should imagine one main thing. See here. Step number 1. Okay, step number 1. Open the browser, enter the URL. What is the URL is also written here, and my expected result is what should happen. Login page must be displayed. This is my step number 1. So now tell me, that means in the test case, you are also writing how to open the application. Yes or no? In the test case, see, this is header. You don't bother. Only you follow what I am saying. You are neatly mentioning how to open the test case. Also, you are mentioning how to open the test case. That is also mentioned here. Second, enter the following values for username. Enter valid data. That is 123. If you enter 123, it should accept. Enter invalid data 333. If you type 333, it should show me the error message. Next, don't enter anything. So obviously not applicable. Login cannot be blank, must be displayed. If you enter alphanumeric, that is this data, again it should throw the error message. Like this, you continue the values until maximum test coverage is achieved. Do you remember this maximum test coverage? In functional testing, already we would have done this. When I say maximum test coverage, all positive values and negative values needs to be covered. So now observe, guys. That means step number 1 is to open the application. Step number 2 is what all inputs you have to test for the username and what is my expected output. But when I'm writing this, the developer is busy in what? When I'm writing my test case on login, the developer is busy in what? Correct. He is busy in coding. He is busy in coding. Now, like this, one test case will have multiple steps, guys. Okay, one test case will always have multiple steps. Now you observe again step number 3. Step number 2 was for username. Sheila, give me 1 minute, Sheila. Give me 1 minute. Dignity place people have joined, sir. I'll ask them to speak. Only 1 minute you give me, Sheila. Only 1 minute. You don't complete Martin. Okay. Now listen, guys. Come back. Observe now. So step number 1, okay, was for this URL, opening the application. Step number 2 was for username. Step number 3 is for password. If you enter valid data, accept. Again enter valid, accept. Again enter valid, accept. Invalid, error message. Invalid, error message. Leave it as blank. This should happen. Again multiple values until maximum test coverage is achieved. Step number over. Step number 3. Let me mute them. It's disturbing. Next, guys. See the step number 4. Enter valid username and password and click on OK button. Home page must be displayed. Home page must be displayed. Next, 5th step. Enter username and password and click on cancel. Click on this cancel. Once you click cancel, all the fields must be refreshed. All the fields must be refreshed. That means, guys, can I say under login, for every component I'm writing one step? Are you observing that? Opening the application, 1 step. Username, 1 step. Password, 1 step. Enter OK button, 1 step. Cancel button, 1 step. Are you understanding? Yes. That means, guys, can I say test case is a in detail document? Test case is a in detail document where navigation steps are there, inputs are there, and expected results are there. So one test case consists of multiple steps. If you take compose test case, composing a module, you will have 1 step, CC 1 step, subject 1 step, attachment 1 step, send button 1 step, save as draft 1 step. So one test case will have multiple steps will be there. For one module, we write one test case. Under that, all the components will be covered. Are you understanding my language? All the components will be covered. Is it clear? Yes. So now my only question is, once I write a test case, I left the company. Tomorrow, if you want to start testing, can you refer this test case and directly start testing? I wrote the test case. I left the company, went. Tomorrow, new person came. I gave him. Correct? Because, guys, even how to open an application is also written in this test case. What input you should give, that is written. What is an expected output, that is written. Everything is a separate class. But when I say test case, have you got it? Okay. So 1 minute, guys. I will unmute these people. Some 2-3 people. Let them speak. Let them speak. And blindly anyone can follow and they can start testing it. Am I clear till now? Am I clear till now? Yes. So second thing, guys. See, this test case is right now only written. Yes or no? This test case is right now only written. What is the meaning of this? Can you tell me? Till now, whatever you're seeing the structure here, right? This is just a written. What is the meaning of this? Is just written. Not tested. Script. What script? Yo, from where you are talking? What? Venkatesh P. What script you are saying? When I say written, that means it is not yet tested. It is not yet tested. Only I have written whatever is there. Now, guys, now when I say I have written this, when shall I start testing all these things? When should I start testing this login feature? When should I start testing? When should I start testing? After the application is after test case gets approved. What you are talking about? Making complicated. Simple after application is ready. That's all. Once a developer say the coding is completed and the build is installed, then we should start testing. Yes or no, guys? Then we should start testing. Now observe. When I say we should start testing, I will first to open the application or first I will open the test case. Use common sense and give me the answer. First I will open application or first I will open the test case. Which is the first thing? I want to test login module. Shravan says open the application. Very good. Test case open first. Lay people who are saying application, you don't have common sense only. Believe me, you don't have common sense. Because how to open the application is also written in the test case. Yes or no? Because you observe, open the browser and enter the URL http://qa main1. Because any new person, if he comes, does he know what is the URL directly? Any new person who will come, does he know the URL? Obviously no. So what is the URL to open the application is also written in the test cases. Is it clear? What is the URL to open this also written here. So guys, summary is, once developer says login module is ready, please start testing. Listen carefully. I will open the test case. I'll come to the step number 1. Step number 1 says, open the browser, enter the URL and give this input. And this is my expected results. So can I say I will do the same actions which is mentioned in the test case? Same actions I will do. Now, login page must be displayed. This is my expected results. Let's assume if it is displayed, I will make the status as pass. Am I clear? Am I clear? This is not at all a complicated one. Very simple. Since it was getting opened, I made it as what pass. Next, enter the username as 123. If I enter 123, it should accept. When I enter 123, it was accepting. So I will make it as done. Pass. Because since it is accepting, I will make it as pass. Invalid 333. Error message should be displayed. But what happened? Error message is not displayed. Can I say this is fail? No. Error message was not displayed. It's a fail. And whenever it is a fail, immediately I have to prepare a bug report. Yes or no? Yes or no? Correct. Since it is saying fail, I have to prepare one bug report. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. I have a call. 1 minute. Hello, Jairama. Okay, guys. Now I said fail. Fail means immediately open the bug report. Immediately open the bug report template. Write all the necessary details. Yes or no? Yes or no? Correct. You enter all the necessary details. Now listen. In bug report template, everything we have seen, but one concept we left it, guys. If you observe here, there was a test case number or test case type. Do you remember? Test case number or test case type was there. Correct? See, this is a test case number or test case name. Means very simple. You got a bug while executing which test case or while testing which test case. The module was login. Requirement number was 1. But the test case name was Cheetah underscore 3.0 underscore ICICI underscore login. What is that Cheetah Gita? Everything I'll teach you neatly. But this document number you have to write there. That's all. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? This document number we have to write there, guys. This document number needs to be written there. Okay, good. So now, see, now when I say fail, now listen, carefully listen. When I say fail, all the steps are fail or one step is fail right now? All the steps are fail or only one step is fail? Anything is fine. It can be test case number, test case name, anything is okay, guys. Only one step is fail. So I will neatly prepare a bug report. Hey, when I'm entering 333, it should throw me the error message. But it is not shown the error message. So this is my observation and you will report it. After reporting the bug to the developer, will you stop testing or you will continue testing? Will you stop testing or you will continue testing? Yes, I will go to the next step. Next step may be pass. Possible? Not possible. Possible? Not possible. Next step is pass. Possible? Not possible. Correct? So like this, guys, all the steps of test cases you should go and execute. Let's assume step number 5 is also pass. Let's assume step number 4 is also pass. Like this, guys, as I said, you wherever it is working fine, you make it as pass. Wherever it is not working fine, you make it as fail. Make it as fail. Okay, let's just 1 second. I'm just filling it. Randomly I'm writing. Okay. Next, let's assume this is fail. So that means how many bugs are found in this test cases? How many bugs are found in this test case? What is your answer? Correct, perfect. 2 bugs are found in this test case or 2 bugs are found in the login module. Am I clear till now? Am I clear till now? Again, I'm repeating wantedly. I will neatly teach you how to write the test case. This concept is required for me in the regression testing, so I'm teaching. Now, guys, out of 5 steps, 2 are fail and all are pass. Now, what is the overall status of this test case? Now, come here. What is the, see, in the header portion, we have overall status of the test case. Now, what this is overall status. What will be the overall status? You give me the answer. Overall status. Pass or fail, that's all. Don't give me your own status. Overall status is pass. Very good. Very good. Engineering, you have some 20, 40, 50 subjects are there. When do you say you will get a certificate as pass? If one subject also you are fail, what is your engineering status? One subject I'm fail out of 40. One subject I'm fail. Still the results will be fail only. Boss, here it is fail only. 200% it is fail. Tell me why it is fail. Why it is fail? Tell me. All these steps comes under login test case only, guys. Even one step is fail also, it will be called as fail only. Now, after developer fixes the bug, correct? After developer fixes the bug, again you will come back. And you are going to retest this. Yes or no? You're going to retest this. Now, after retesting, assume it is working fine. So I'll make it as pass. Again, go to the other bug. Go to the second bug, whatever you got. Again, retest this also. Make it as a pass. Where is the third change I should do? Here I made pass. Here also made pass. Where is the third thing I have to change? You give me the answer. Go to the main status. Go to the main status. And here also change this to pass. Now, can I say login test case is pass? Now, can I say login test case is pass? Yes. So guys, please listen carefully. This process, we call it as a test execution. I'll give you one definition also. Don't worry. Means once my test cases are ready, it is stored in test case repository. After the application is ready, take that application. Didn't understand means leave it serving. No problem, leave it. So take the test case, execute all the steps or test all the steps. If any step is not working, make it as fail. If any step is working, make it as pass. After all the steps are executed, even if a single step is fail, make it as overall status as fail only. And after the developer fixes the bug, again you test it once again. If it is working fine, make it as pass. Now I can say that this test case is pass. Test case is pass is nothing but the login module is stable. Yes or no? When I say test case is pass, it means what? The login module is stable. The login module is stable. Is it clear, guys? Everyone answer. Are you understanding execution process? Only execution I'm talking about. When to make pass, when to make fail. Yes. So anyone who has answered till now, everyone is saying yes, 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 yes. And most important point, guys, most important point, whenever I want to start execution, first I will open what? First I'll open what? Correct. First I'll open test case. According to test case, I will do all the actions. Good. Don't write anything from here. Now at least see, whenever I use a word called as test case, you should keep this picture in your mind. Yesterday we have already written. So keep this point in your mind. Okay, this is how the test case looks like. Write note number 3. Right, note number 3. Note number 3. Test execution. Test execution is the process of test execution is the process of testing the application. Test execution is the process of testing the application. Is the process of testing the application by executing the test case. Is the process of testing the application by executing the test case. Testing the application by executing the test case. So you should understand that word also. We test the application and we execute the test case. We don't say we test the test case. All of you read that line once again. Go through that line. Go through that line and underline that. If you see that neatly I have mentioned, we test the application and we execute the test case. Are you understanding? You can't change that word. You can't change that word. So we always execute the test case. Okay. Next line. Next line. Next line. If any step is not working according to requirement, if any step is not working according to the requirement, if any step is not working according to the requirement, then we make the status as fail. If any step is not working according to the requirement, then we make the status as fail, comma, make the status as fail, comma, report it to the developer, report it to the developer, make it as a fail, comma, report it to the developer, report it to the developer, comma, retest it after he fixed the bug. Retest it after he fixed the bug. Retest it after he fixed the bug until it is working fine. Retest it after he fixed the bug until it is working fine. Until it is working fine. Done. Until it is working fine. Next point. If the test case is working according to the requirement, if the test case is working according to the requirement, if the test case is working according to the requirement, if the test case is working according to the requirement, then make the status as pass. 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 Next line. This test execution process goes on. This test execution process goes on. This test execution process goes on until all the test cases are, this test execution process goes on until all the test cases are executed, until all the test cases are executed and the status is pass. Until all the test cases are executed and the status is pass. All the test cases are executed and the status is pass. See, when I say status is pass, only one test case should be pass or all the test cases should be pass? Only one test case or all the test cases? Good. All the test cases. One test case. I am talking about all the test cases. All the test cases should be passed, right? You go like, oh, next, last point you write. Last point. Only after all the test cases are passed, what you are asking, Ganesh, one test case report, all test case should pass. Means what? I'm not understanding only. Every test case you should execute. Every test case separate. See, one test case means one Excel sheet, guys. Remember, one test case means obviously one Excel sheet. If there are 200 test cases, 200 Excel sheets you have to open. Each and every test case you should execute until everything becomes pass. No, wrong. You're wrong, Ganesh. Others, is it clear? When I say one test case, it is one Excel sheet. When I say 100 test cases, 100 Excel sheets are there. 100 Excel sheets are there. What last point I was saying something. Did I start that last point? What is the word I used? Only after all the test cases are executed. Only after all the test cases are executed and all are passed. Only after all the test cases are executed and all are passed, then we can say that application is stable. Only after all the test cases are executed and all are passed, we can say that application is stable. Then we can say that application is stable. Then okay guys, now listen. Till now, whatever some note 1, note 2, note 3, note 4, note 5 given, these are the basic things which are required to start the regression testing case. Remember this point. To start regression testing, these basic concepts are required. Remember, okay? Now, I will teach ad hoc testing. You know, I teach ad hoc testing because half an hour is left out. Tomorrow, I'll start regression testing. Before you come tomorrow, the remaining people, neatly read all the points which I have given today, as well as see the test case also. Whatever test case you have written, just go through the test case. That is what I'm saying. Go through the test case, and whatever points I have told today also, just brush up those points, so that tomorrow directly I can start the regression testing. I'll start at 8 o'clock, and we will send a link for the mock. As I did, listen carefully now. In mock, I am adding one more topic. Bug life cycle, complete things, smoke testing, and all managerial questions also I will ask. I'll repeat. Bug life cycle whole topic I'll ask. Then smoke testing complete concept I'll ask. And I'll also ask you the managerial questions. What are the types of testing? What are the difference between QA, QC, smoke testing, sanity testing? Every point you are giving in the mock, you should give me the justification. You can't directly mug up and give the answer. If you say smoke testing can be documented, sanity cannot be documented, reason I want. Everything you are going to talk about the reason. Yes, whatever I've told and everything I've covered in the class. I don't have to tell you once again. Everything, whatever is covered. So 3 topics mocks will be there. I've added one more topic, managerial questions also. Today we'll send you a link. You register. After registration is done, as I said, you 20 or 30 people will start taking the mock. If you don't register, no problem. You don't register, will not take mock also. But they cannot blame us, remember. They cannot blame us. Only really studied, interested, you get the job. Other people, it's your wish, you get out. I don't have any problem itself. Yes, from today only it will start. You register first once we send the link. What you are talking, when the mock will be there, you stop. Whenever I want, I can take it. You be prepared. 20 people, you'll get a call. Next 11 o'clock, you have a mock. 1 o'clock, you have a mock. You'll get a call. You be prepared. When I call you and if you say, sir, one more day I want, you are rejected. Very simple. You are rejected. Before 1 hour only, those 30 people will come to know that mock is there. Before 1 hour, that's all. Before 2 days, I can't give the intimation. That is not possible. Okay, guys. So ad hoc testing not done, stay back. All other people leave. Tomorrow 8 o'clock, I'll continue regression testing. Only ad hoc testing people, whoever wants to listen to ad hoc testing, you stay back. 2 minutes, let them leave. We'll start the session. Only ad hoc testing people stay back. Other people, you leave. This alpha, beta, and exploratory we have completed. Correct, guys? I think yesterday, day before yesterday, I don't remember. We finished this ad hoc and exploratory. So this concept was left out. Let me finish this also. Bye guys, other people you can leave. Bye. Okay, now this is very simple concept, guys. This is very simple concept. But as I said you, some cross questions they're asking more in the interview. They're asking more cross questions in the interview. Okay. Now to begin with, now everyone will be familiar with this diagram. Yes or no? Everyone will be familiar with this diagram. So first customer is going to give us the requirements. First customer gave the requirements. Once he gave the requirements, developer did one round of coding, white box testing, then application was installed into test server. We did FT, IT, ST, then UAT is also there. That is also there. If you want, let me write that also. Smoke testing is also there. So every time I'll not tell you this is there, that is there, because you know it. UAT is also done by the customer for his satisfaction. And obviously, will he test the whole application? And to begin with, neatly we will do one round of what smoke testing. So in UAT, when I'm saying will he test the whole application or not? Will it correct only the business scenarios he is going to concentrate. He will not test the whole application. Okay, good. Now guys, see, can I say whenever test engineer is testing, he is generally testing according to the requirements. Yes or no? See, now don't tell me no, sir, test cases. Boss, test case is also written based on requirements only. Yes or no? Test cases are also written based on the requirement. Correct? That is also written based on the requirement. So obviously, and see, and whenever testing is testing, is it testing sequentially or not? Whenever testing is testing, is it testing sequentially or not? Correct? Obviously, he's testing sequentially. He's taking one by one module and exactly according to the requirement he's testing. Sequentially, he's testing one by one according to the requirement he's testing. Now, guys, so let's take this amount transfer module. Let's take this amount transfer module. On the amount transfer module, the test engineer has done functional testing, then he did integration testing, and then he did system testing. In the functional testing, he has tested fan with multiple values, tan with multiple values, amount with multiple values, transfer is enabled or not, cancel is enabled or not. This is what he has done in functional testing. Yes or no? All the components with multiple values he has tested in his functional testing. Done. Integration testing. He took some amount, he transferred it to the other user, and then he logged in as a other user, and he saw whether the amount is received or amount is not received. Amount is received or amount is not received. Correct? If that same exact amount is transferred, that means integration testing is also working fine. Any confusion? Any confusion? Good. Come to system testing. Login as a user A, transfer the amount. After transferring, first you see whether the amount is deducted or not. In whose account? Amount is deducted or not. In whose account? In sender account only. Correct? In sender account. After amount is deducted, log out. Again, log in as a user B. Go and check the balance is there or not. That amount is received. If the amount is received, see whether the receipt is generated or not. Then you log out. That is your system testing scenario. So that means functional is done, integration is done, system is done. Let's assume smoke is also done. Now my question is amount transfer stable or amount transfer is not stable? Amount transfer is stable or not stable? It is stable because all the types of functionality testing is working fine. Now we gave it to the customer. Once I gave it to the customer, customer also checked these business scenarios. Done, boss. That is also working fine. Okay. Now the amount transfer module is handed over to the customer, or it is installed in the real server. Is it clear till now? It is handed over to the customer or it is installed in the real server. Okay, now observe this. See, test engineer or developer, they're always testing the application according to the requirements. Correct? Test engineers are always, the developers are testing the application according to the requirements. According to the requirements. Now you okay, listen guys. Ayani Maji, I said 1 minute only. Not audible, not audible, not audible. Also no. He is a real user. He's a real user. Now my question is, this real user will use the application according to what? Understand the question and then give the answer. Don't give wrong answers here. Think at least. Test engineers and developers, all these fellows are neatly following the requirements and then they're testing the application. Whereas the real user will use the application according to what? He will use application according to application. Beautiful answer, Olay. According to their knowledge, according to his requirements. Okay, so he also has a requirement, you are saying. According to test cases, he's one more Maha Pandit. He's the best manual faculty. So he's saying that user will see the test case. Like, does the user knows about test cases first of all? Does user know user acceptance test document? Like, you are mad or like serious and saying, because some people don't have basic common sense also don't have. You are using WhatsApp, you are using Gmail, you are using Twitter. Are you using any test documents? Are you using any test documents? Then what you are saying? UAT document, that document, this document, all nonsense answers you are giving. Sagar says according to company requirement. Boss, user will never see any requirement, any document. However he want, he will use the application. According to his need, he will use. He will not follow any document requirements. Okay, now observe guys. This user, what he did, one of his friend called and says, please transfer me some 5,000 rupees. Please transfer me some 5,000 rupees. Now, as soon as his friend said transfer 5,000 rupees, this fellow, he logged in. He will enter from account number. He will enter positive 2 account number, and let's assume he will enter the amount as 5,000 rupees. He will enter the amount of 5,000 rupees. Then, and immediately he will click on this transfer button. Yes or no? He will just enter positive, and he will click on this transfer button. We will just 1 minute. Observe, he'll click on this transfer button. Now, guys, once you click on this transfer button, have you seen in the bottom of the page? I don't know if you observed or not. You will get. Have you seen this? It will be like this, and dot. It will be going on. Do you know what is this? What is this called as dot in the bottom of the page? Any transaction you do, any transaction. If you click on login button also, submit button also, okay also, processing, perfect. Means your transaction is going on. Your transaction is going on, or the process is going on. Correct? Now tell me, when this process is going on, and see, you should get a confirmation message first of all. Yes, amount transfer successfully. Correct? Now what happened, guys? After this user clicked on transfer button, it's going on. Almost 2 minutes over, 3 minutes over, 5 minutes over. Still, it's saying going on. Generally, what will user do in this situation? Generally, what will user do in this situation? It says going on, going on, going on. Like, what will user do? I'm asking. This fellow is saying network issue, it seems. Perfect. They will cancel the transaction. Simple question I'm asking. Many times we also would have done that. So when this was going on, I'll simply go and cancel the transaction. Now observe. I cancelled it. But if you see this scenario, first I clicked on transfer button, and after 2-3 minutes, I clicked on cancel button. Correct? First I clicked on transfer button. So still it was saying processing. Then I clicked on cancel button. Now, as soon as I clicked on cancel button, I got one confirmation message. Amount transferred successfully. Now tell me, what is the confusion for you? And it says minus 5,000 rupees. Now, after clicking on cancel, see, this is a normal, it's not a normal scenario. First I click on transfer, then immediately I clicked on cancel before the process was completed. Now it says, boss, I got a confirmation message minus 5,000. What is the problem for the user? Tell me. What is the problem for the user? What is the problem for the user? You are saying bug is there. Hey. What is the problem for the user? Money is lost. He is confused. Jeevana is correct. He is confused whether the amount is transferred. Network issue ni majna badhiya. What am I asking? What is your answer? Now he's confused that, boss, I cancelled the transaction, and after cancelling, I'm getting a confirmation message saying that amount transferred successfully. He really don't know whether the transaction was successful or not. We don't know whether the transaction was successful or not. Yes or no? Yes or no? First, to understand the scenario here. It is not a normal scenario. He is clicking on two buttons at a time, guys. That is a scenario here. So he's clicking on transfer button also, and he's clicking on this cancel button also. Two buttons he's clicking at a time. Yes. So now I don't know whether the amount is transferred or the amount is not transferred. Some people, once you click on transfer and it is still showing on process bar for last 5-6 minutes, they will not click on cancel. Have you seen? Sometimes we think that application is not working. We close the browser. Have you seen that? Directly we close the browser only. Many of you would have done this, correct? If you ask me, everyone would have done this once in life. We close it. Because nothing was happening, I closed it. After closing, again, what you will do, tell me? I close the application only. See, I thought it is hanging, I closed it. Next, again, what I will do? I will open the application once again. I'll check the balance. Now balance says minus 5,000. Now again, are you confused or you are not confused? You are confused, you are not confused. Yes, because I really can't see. This is just a 5,000 I'm talking about, guys. You think about 5 lakhs or 50 lakhs or 1 crore also. Any example you can take. Third thing, most importantly, listen. Some people will click on cancel or refresh. Some people will close the browser. Some people, they will click on the same button 4 or 5 times. Have you seen that? They'll get frustrated. And since the transaction is not happening, they will click. This only 3 times or 4 times they're going to click on this transfer button. Have you done this also? Have you done this also? Yes, multiple times I'm clicking on the same button on the multiple times. This is my scenario number 3. And once I click on multiple times, what happened? Once I went, I got 4 confirmation message. Minus 5,000. Minus 5,000. Again I got minus 5,000. And again I got minus 5,000. That means how much was transferred? How much is transferred? 20K is gone. 20K is gone. Now my question is, these are called as scenarios. Clicking on multiple buttons at a time, clicking on same button for many times, and without logging out, closing the browser or refreshing sometimes. These 3-4 scenarios Has test engineer tested in functional or integration or in system testing or in smoke testing? Have you tested, guys? Have you tested in the functional or integration or system? Because in functional, we are testing one by one. Oh, yes means Rimpa. Can you tell me you are saying yes? How? You are the only person who is saying yes. How? Boss, in functional testing, we test only one component. In integration testing, we only check the data flow. In system testing, one flow we are going to check. But all these, whatever I'm saying, scenario number 1, scenario number 2, scenario number 3, first of all, these 3 scenarios, are they mentioned in requirements? Are they mentioned in requirement? Correct? No, they are not mentioned. And if you observe, this user, these 3 scenarios, I can call them as a ad hoc scenarios. Do you know the English meaning of an ad hoc? I can call them as a ad hoc scenarios, or it's a random scenarios. These are, I can call them as a ad hoc, or simple English if you want. These are the random scenarios. Means I am not using the application in a sequence. I am not using the application in sequence. However I want, I am using it. Because see, this is not the way of using the application, right? 20 times you can't click on same button. You can't close from wherever you want. You can't refresh when the process is going on. Okay, now if you observe, guys, test engineer is always using the application in a sequential order. Yes or no? Test engineers, whoever is testing, they always test the application in a sequential order. According to what? Correct. According to the requirement. They always do the application in a sequential order, one by one, neatly, according to the requirement. But once the application is handed over to the customer, he can use the application in which order? He can use the application in, correct, random order or ad hoc order, or however he wants. Now the question is, why the users are using the application randomly or ad hocly? Can I say because they don't have knowledge on the application initially? Yes or no? They don't have the product knowledge. They don't have the knowledge only. See, when first time when you're using the Facebook or your WhatsApp or Gmail, you would have used in a wrong way also. Possible, not possible? First time when you're using this application, many times you would have been wrong way. And you see, guys, you used it wrong way, and you are thinking that application is not working. Possible or not possible? You used in wrong way and you are thinking that application is not working. Possible? Yes. Now, guys, now observe what happened. Test engineer, even though he has done all the types of testing in a sequential order, user, since he don't know how to use the application, he was using the application in a random order or the ad hoc order. And because of this, customer was getting some issues. See, I wanted to transfer 5,000, but by mistake I clicked on 3-4 times. 20,000 is transferred. Is it irritating for the customer or not? Is it irritating for the user or not? And user will obviously will think, hey, rascal fellow, your application is not working fine. He will not blame himself. Any simple concept to tell you, people who got placed, they will say, oh, well, like good, Prakash sir is good. People who didn't get a place, they will say Prakash sir is bad. But no one will ask them whether they have studied or not. You're understanding my point? Other fellows also, when you take a feedback, right, you will never ask them whether you are good in the subject or not. They are teaching whether you have studied or not. They will simply say, I joined QSpiders, but I didn't get job. Like that, guys, now user will blame the company. Hey, ICICI Bank, your application is waste application. By mistake, I clicked on this button 3-4 times and so much money is transferred. Now company decided customers are loose fellows. Customers are loose fellows. So let us do one thing. Let us go and do one more round of testing here in the company itself. That is, let us do ad hoc testing also. Let us do one round of ad hoc testing. And in ad hoc testing, let test engineer don't follow any requirement. Use the application randomly like a customer. Use it as if you don't have the knowledge of the product and see if you are getting any bugs. That concept, guys, they started calling it as a ad hoc testing, or many companies called it as a monkey testing. Have you understood the concept? Have you understood the concept? Yes. Okay. So testing the application randomly, generally we call this concept as an ad hoc testing. Now, second thing is, guys, you observe. Now I know you, Olay. Now he's asking why it's called as a monkey testing. You only give me the answer. Why it's called as a monkey testing? Good, where? Correct, because whatever these three scenarios have written on the screen, they are not normal scenarios. Like monkey, two buttons he's clicking. Like monkey, 4 or 5 times he's clicking on the same button. He's closing from wherever he wants and jumping from one place to other. So they have given the name as monkey testing. So ad hoc, monkey, it's both are same itself. Okay, now let's come to the technical thing, guys. See, ad hoc testing, generally they say, it should be always done in the last only. Why, listen carefully. See, whenever customers are using the application, guys, whenever customer is using, 10 people are using ICICI application. Let's assume 10 people. Out of 10, how many people can do these three scenarios? Think and give me the answer. Don't give me wrong answer. 10 people are using ICICI application. Out of 10, how many people may do this scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3? How many people may do this? All the people. You've gone mad, or like you don't know what you're talking on. 7 to 8 people will click multiple times. Wow, very good. Excellent, guys. So that means you are saying that you are also using SBI application, ICICI application. So every time once you log in, you will click on multiple buttons. That is what you are saying? Boss, hardly one person may do this, or no one can do this also. Possible, not possible? People are not fooled to do this. They may, one person hardly out of 100. If you ask me, 4 people or 5 people or only 2 people can do this. Remaining all 98% of the people, they will use the application in which order? Remaining 98% of the people, they will use the application in which order? In a sequential order only. Hardly 2-3 people may do this. So can I say first preference should always be given for the sequential order only? Is it right or wrong? First preference should be always given in the sequential order, guys. So that's the reason, sir, we always do ad hoc testing in the last, because rarely user may do this. So remaining all 98% of the people will use the application in the right way only, or sequential way only. That's why ad hoc testing is the last type of testing. Is this point clear? Is this point clear? Yes? Okay. Now, one more last point under this. Now observe this, one cross question they're asking in interview. Boss, one day they have dedicated for smoke testing, 1 day for functional testing, 1 day for integration testing, 1 day for system testing, and 1 day for ad hoc testing. Understand what I'm saying? One day for all the types of testing they have given me deadline. But what happened? Functional system, sorry, smoke testing neatly I finished within 1 day. Functional also finished within 1 day. Integration also finished within 1 day. But system testing I couldn't finish within 1 day. I couldn't finish due to some reason. Now that day is over. Now I couldn't finish system testing is one day. One more day is required. Now the question is, will you stop system testing and continue ad hoc testing, or stop ad hoc testing and continue system testing? What is your choice? What is your choice? Time is not there. Will you stop system testing or will you stop ad hoc testing? Stop system, stop ad hoc. That is the question. Stop system testing. Excellent. Very good. Continue system testing. Boss, obviously we will stop ad hoc testing. I really don't understand what you are thinking, guys. Can you stop system testing? Can you stop system testing? Boss, I will stop ad hoc testing only because most of the users will use the application in which way? In which way? In sequential way only. Okay. And second point, you observe, guys. You observe. Okay, what I'll do, I stopped ad hoc testing. I did system testing. Listen carefully. I stopped ad hoc. I did system testing. And what happened is customer found these bugs. Like he was trying to transfer 1 crore, some 4 crore got transferred because he was clicking multiple times. He will scold the company. Okay. But now I will tell him what, like customer, there is something called as user manual. For every application, we have a user manual. Yes or no? For every application, we have a user manual. Yes or no? Correct? And user manual neatly I'll mention. Point number 1, don't click on multiple buttons at a time. Don't click on multiple buttons at a time. This is mentioned. Next, please don't close the application when the process is going on. Don't close the application. This is also mentioned there. Next, whenever you want to come out of the application, only use logout only. Don't close the browser. Don't refresh when the process is going on. Now tell me, all these points are written or not written? Like this, many points will be there, guys. There may be 100 points also. All these points are written or not written? Correct? Everything is written. So now if you observe, I did system testing. I didn't do ad hoc testing. I didn't do ad hoc testing because time was not there. Think like this. I didn't do ad hoc testing because time was not there. Since I didn't do ad hoc testing, customer found a bug. Can you scold me? No. Can you scold me? Obviously no, because everything is mentioned in the user manual. Why did you use the application in a wrong way? So what I'm trying to tell you is, guys, I told you ad hoc testing is done in the last, because that's the last preference. And generally, guys, ad hoc testing will be done only if time permits. Are you understanding this concept also? Only if time permits. You cannot stop your normal sequential testing and go for ad hoc testing. Only if the time is there, I will do. If time is there, I'll not do, because everything is mentioned in the user manual. But I'll tell you, time is always there. Remember that point. When you say, sir, I didn't get time to study, it's a wrong statement. Time is 100% there. Oh, nice. Okay. So we will do this only if time permits. This is also clear. This is also clear. Yes. Now, guys, see, you will say that user manual is there. Go and follow. Who asked you to click on 4 or 5 times? But truly speaking, can really the users will read the user manual? Will really they will read the user manual? 100% no. Not possible only, I'll tell you. Because thousands of pages are there. How can he sit and read the entire user manual? So somehow, test engineer, please take time. And remember, guys, it will take hardly 2 hours, 3 hours to do this ad hoc testing, I'll tell you. Now take some time. Listen carefully now. I started doing ad hoc testing. First scenario, after clicking on transfer button, if I'm again clicking on cancel button, still money is deducting. Let me do one thing. Once you click on transfer button, why don't you disable this cancel button? Are you understanding what I'm saying? To tell the developer, I did ad hoc testing. I found a bug. Once you click on transfer, immediately if you click on cancel also, the money is getting transferred. So solution is, after clicking on transfer, disable cancel. Now, can the scenario one happen? No. Disable cancel. Can the scenario one happen? No. So now instead of blaming user that read the user manual, you are only restricting him to use the application. It's good. Correct? Second solution, user once he click on this close button, you give him warning message. Solution I'm telling, give him the warning message. You may lose the data, still the transaction is going on. Still do you want to continue? Even after giving this message also, if he says yes, then lose fellow, let him continue. I can't do anything. Yes or no? Give him a warning message, that's all. That's what I can do. Third one, clicking on transfer button multiple times. Do one thing. Once you click on transfer button once, you disable that also. After clicking, disable this also. Now tell me, can he do anything here now? Is it safe or not? Is it safe or not? Yes. So guys, understand what I'm saying is, see, no customer can scold us because we have given user manual. But guys, practical, if you take boss, that is not possible for them to read the user manual. So better somehow find the time, and do one round of ad hoc testing so that customer also will comfortably use the application. Is the concept clear? Is the concept clear? And second thing, are you following any rules here? Any rules, any methods, any requirement, any sequential order to do this testing? 100% no, guys. Whatever you want to lay, however you want. And most of the time, these are the scenarios, remember. However you want, use the application. Like a user, like a cracked fellow, however you want, you do this. Okay, now summary, listen. Notes I'll give you. First point is, testing the application randomly without using any rules or methods or sequential order is called as ad hoc testing. Second, when the application is handed over to the customer, they don't have knowledge, so they can use it in a wrong way. So to avoid this, we should do one round of ad hoc testing. Third point, in ad hoc testing, we always do ad hoc testing in the last, only if time permits, because the first preference should be given in the sequential order. That's all. These are the only 3 points we have to speak in the interview. Have you understood this? Because this does not have any methods, rules, or requirements. Nothing is there, guys. Nothing is there. Yes? Good. Copy the diagram. 5 minutes, I'll give you exactly 5 minutes. Then I will give the notes. If anyone is in urgent, you can go. I don't have any problem. I also have a batch at 11 o'clock, but still I'll complete this and go. Other people, if anyone is very busy, you can quit. No problem. Wait. 5 minutes, neatly write this diagram, then I'll give the notes. Sir, can we add one more message? Transaction will automatically time out after 30 seconds. Yeah, I can do it. That is not a problem. You can do it. If you want, you can do it. Okay. Go. Leave it. That's okay. It's broken. Go. Fine. Go. Baby. No, Pratiksha will discuss all those things later. Because first I want to give you the definition of this after 5 minutes. Then, careful, baby. Then tomorrow I will teach you the difference between ad hoc and exploratory also. There I'll talk about all those things. Now you write the diagram first. First you make a note of the diagram. Believe me, guys, so many attitude, shameless fellows are there in the batch, I'll tell you. Even I am teaching after 2 hours also, right? What you know, they are logging out. Just imagine their attitude. And these rascal fellows says that I'm not getting requirements, I'm not getting job. This is how people are. So all other 90% people, at least you should know such kind of cases. So I'm just telling you this. Just to remember this. Correct, I will leave them. Rakesh, you are right, sir. Leave them, sir. Time waste. Perfect. But these rascal fellows are the one who writes the bad comments, right? Imagine one fellow, right? The day yesterday that Google review something he has written. I called him. I said, I'm taking a call to the police also. You tell me really if you have cheated you or not. Then their parents called and said, sorry, sir, it's our mistake only. Out of frustration, he's writing, we are sorry. I'm not bothered about these people, but I'm saying you, at least I want to intimate you what kind of people are there. At least you should know, guys, other people who are good people, right? You should know what kind of people are here. But their parents think that we are not teaching them. That is a problem, right? That is the problem. Is I don't care about these people. Their parents will think bad about us. That's the problem. Neatly write the diagram, guys. What to speak in interview, I'll tell you. So ad hoc testing, is it mandatory? It's not mandatory. What is your answer now? Ad hoc testing, is it mandatory or not? Correct? Yes, it's not mandatory. Really not mandatory. Generally, they say only if time is there, then we will do it. But as a teacher, I'm saying you always do it. Even if your company tell also, if your company don't tell also, 1 hour extra you take time, you do it so that you can find a lot of bugs. The person who find more bugs, obviously he'll be appraised. So whatever types of testing I'm teaching you, even though they don't tell you, try to do all these things. It's always better. No, user friendly is again different story. Prasanjit, it's a different testing only. So here it is not at all the concept of user friendly. Here it's only the concept of randomly using the application. So whatever you are saying, that's a different story. We'll talk about it in other types of testing. Subhash, that question I'll answer later. Now this is not the time. I'll answer later. Copy it, guys, everyone. Copy it, copy it, copy it. Write the definition what you should speak in the interview. It's a very simple question. They'll only ask you what is ad hoc testing. Till today, they have asked only one question, guys. But when they ask what also, all these 3-4 points you should answer. Everyone write. Ad hoc testing. Ad hoc testing. Testing the application. Testing the application randomly. Testing the application randomly or ad hocly. Testing the application randomly or ad hocly without using any requirements, or rules, or methods. without using any requirements or rules or methods is known as ad hoc testing. Without using any requirements or rules or methods is known as ad hoc testing. Second point. Once the application is handed over to the customer, once the application is handed over to the customer, they may use it in a random way or wrong way. They may use it in a random way or the wrong way. They may use it in a random way or the wrong way, since they don't have knowledge of the application. Since they don't have knowledge on the application. Since they don't have knowledge on the application. And during this process, they may find some ad hoc issues. And during this process, they may find some ad hoc issues. And during this process, they may find some ad hoc issues. They may find some ad hoc issues. To avoid these issues, we do one round of ad hoc testing. To avoid these issues, we do one round of ad hoc testing. We do one round of ad hoc testing. Dana, we do one round of ad hoc testing. Last point, right? The third point. You should tell all the 3 points. When they ask you what is ad hoc testing, also give all the 3 points. Okay. Next point. Generally, ad hoc testing is always done in the last. Generally, ad hoc testing is always done in the last, only if time permits. Generally, ad hoc testing is always done in the last, only if time permits. Only if time permits, because most of the users will always use the application, in right way only. Because most of the users always use the application in right way only. Okay, that's all. Have you written this? Dana. That's all, guys. This is the concept of ad hoc testing. I'll stop it. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, let's meet for regression testing. Ganesh, this question, what are you asking? There is no relation only. Ad hoc testing, integration, there is no relation only. So there is no point in answering that. Both are different. According to the mock on functional testing, not done, sir. What you're asking, according to the mock, non-functional testing is not done. Play mock, I already told you 3 topics. That's all. You read only these 3 topics. Bye guys. Bye everyone. Bye. Read all this, whatever morning we discuss, and come to the tomorrow's class. Read all the topics and then come to tomorrow's class. Bye.